Oh, is this live? Oh, did you guys show up early? Hitting me with some likes already? Grace, what is up? Yes, it's still happening. You guys know I'm never on time, but my message is always right on time, right? I'm never on time, but the message is right on time. And tonight we're talking about the fact that you guys get to decide exactly what you think. Yes, Dr. Terry, I'm here, right? You get to decide what you think. You decide what you feel. You can decide who you become, but it's important we recognize that we have that choice, we have that decision, and that we take active, full control and full advantage of that power, guys. So that's what we're talking about tonight, guys, to help you guys get good, get great, get awesome. Who's excited to be here? We are live action on YouTube. So let's hit the intro and let's get right into it, y'all. What I teach you guys is transformation. If you didn't dominate, changes need to be made. So I give you guys entire systems that make you new. But stop making excuses, stop whining, stop, right? Get at it. No excuses, just dominate. I'm trying to figure this out. You get a 520 on your MCAT, right? You're my MCAT student. I feel like I've been there with you holding your hand. And we've been simpatico to this whole process. You get a 520, you don't share that with me? Guys, everybody in the group knows Terry. Terry just got a 520 MCAT score, so I am very excited. Clap, 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 because she's been working for that. Non-traditional student, working hard for that, getting it done. So I'm excited about that. But tonight, we're talking about controlling your thoughts, right? And Terry's an example of that because she's had a lot go on, but she's controlled her thoughts, controlled her actions, and got it done. And so for you guys, right now is a time of crisis. You guys might have seen my post last week. I got some messages from students who were concerned about what I said. If you want a 520, get to my MCAT course, y'all. You guys know the website, thestudydoc.com. I am The Study Doc. This is The Study Doc Show. And we're talking about controlling your thoughts and controlling your actions. And so with everything going on, right, we got freaking, being a student, being a pre-med is hard enough already. And right now we got COVID busting off, right? Should we wear a mask? Should we not wear a mask? Who the freak knows, right? And then now we got the Ukrainian-Russian conflict. And for people, it's a lot, right? We're on the verge of another world war. This is crazy. You got a guy, Putin, who gives no freaks about anything, and he's got his finger on the trigger. He's all ready to pop off some stuff. And so it's a very scary time. And so what I said last week is that you guys have to be very cognizant of what you allow into your brain, what you allow into your presence. And with the Ukrainian crisis, guys, it is a terrible tragedy. It is awful. I'm watching these videos, guys. I'm like, oh, my heart hurts for them because they have no escape, right? They're there. It is what it is. But at the same time, we have to recognize that we can't be fearful of a war across the world and ignore the war we're fighting every single day for our lives. And that may be a stark contrast, like, oh my gosh, we're in a war. But the reality is, guys, with war, life is on the line, right? Lives are in jeopardy, right? Lives are in jeopardy. But what we don't recognize is the battle that we're in every single day is the battle for our own lives. And some of us are powerless stand-buyers in our own lives and don't even realize it. We are giving away our power. We're giving away our control to other people, to other things, and allowing it to derail us, to weaken us. And for so many of you guys, right? How many of you guys feel uncertain about your future? How many of you guys constantly struggle with feelings of self-doubt, with feelings of negativities, right? Raining upon you where you're like, man, I just don't feel like I can do it. I don't feel like I have what it takes. I don't think I'm going to be able to get there. And what we have to recognize is that whether you get somewhere or nowhere, so if you log off the video right now, I want you to get this. You in this world and you alone get to decide what you become and how far you go. And I like to sing, so I'm going to sing some Moana for you guys right now. You guys are like, oh, he's going to sing for real? No, that's only for my student groups. I sing in there because my voice is so silky smooth. You ever seen that movie Step Brothers, right? It's a great movie if you've not seen Step Brothers. And he's like, I had the voice of an angel, but I've never sung anything for anybody. My Moana voice is strong, y'all. But you get to decide how far you guys will go. That's the truth. That's the reality. And sometimes I know my message is hard to hear because it sounds like I'm blaming you. It sounds like I'm saying, listen, you get to decide how far you go. And if you're not far, that's a fault of you. And I'm not blaming you. What I'm trying to get you to do is to wake up, to snap out of the matrix and recognize you are the one, sucker. You are the one. No one can care more about your life than you. But you got to care about it. And you got to stop letting other people fool you with trickery, getting you to focus on other things. And instead focus on what you got to do. And the example of this, guys, and the reason I speak about this so much is that I allowed myself, I gave away my power for a long time. Right? As confident and powerful as Dr. Pinesett is, I was what's first generation Andre Pinesett going to college, feeling powerless, feeling weak, feeling like I couldn't overcome my circumstance and what and my perceived shortcomings at that time. And I believed that because I had heard it from so many people who told me, "Oh yeah, you're just a big black dumb jock guy. Oh, you're that big black guy." And they looked at me that way, and I let those people control my narrative, my life. I let their perceptions of me become my own perception. You guys know what I'm talking about right now? Does anybody understand what I'm saying right now? If you understand what I'm saying right now, comment in the box so other people can see that I'm not the only one who's allowing other people to frame me, to label me, to box me in, to put a roof on top of my head and stop me from being my best. Right? Thank you guys for putting the box. That's right, right? Right? We understand that happens all the time. That people tell us we're less than and we believe it. But we don't recognize that we have the power to choose whether we listen to them, whether we believe them or not, whether we internalize what they say about us. We have that power. And early on, I didn't realize that. And so I was like, oh, I'm just a dumb guy. I don't know if I belong here. And I just meandered my way through my early college experience. And the result of that meandering was a meandering GPA. It was up, it was down, it was everywhere, mostly down. And it was terrible. And the ultimate, the moment that came to a head was when my counselor told me that you'll never get into medical school. And I bring this story up a lot because it really was a moment that changed my life. Because in that moment, I recognized, holy smokes, if I continue the way I'm going, allowing people to make me think a certain way, feel a certain way about myself, I'll never get where I want to go because they're always going to doubt me. And all these people telling me that I was less than and I couldn't be the A student had me messing around, believing that mess, and our beliefs, our thoughts become our actions, and our actions become our outcomes. And so for me, I was getting bad grades because I thought I was a bad student. I believed I couldn't succeed. It wasn't until that moment I said, forget that. I will forever believe in me, no matter what. And you guys know if this is your first time, right, getting me live action, I'm Dr. Pine, say hello, right? My motto, every single day I wake up and I say it to myself, I want you guys to write it down right now. Everybody ready? Okay? Everything I am or ever will be is a direct result of me. My thoughts, my attention, my efforts, my actions. Me. My decisions. Me. You all can be anything you want, but you have to recognize that. You have to embrace that. And you have to stop letting other people and obstacles and everything get in the way. And you got to believe, oh snap, I get to decide who I am and who I will be. It's so, so important. I decided that. And I said, okay, listen, if it's all on me, then I got to take the reins and I got to get it done. Right? You guys saw the video I posted earlier on my social media. If you guys don't know, I'm at thestudy.com across social media. I posted a video talking about how the teacher's job is to teach, and it's your job as a student to learn and get the A. Stop blaming the teacher and blame yourself. And people are like fired up, right? And they're like, you're blaming us, and it's a bad teacher, and blah, blah, blah. And you can't do anything to teach, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm not blaming you. I'm setting you free. I'm telling you that people telling you to blame a teacher are trying to imprison you, are trying to tell you that you can't succeed independently, that you can't stand on your own 2 feet and get it done yourself against the obstacles. Does that make sense? I'm liberating you. I'm telling you, you are in complete control. I'm telling you the reality is that if a teacher is a bad teacher, there is no penalty for them. They keep on teaching. It's the way academics works. But if they're a bad teacher and you allow their bad teaching to make you a bad student and you don't get the A, who suffers? You suffer. Do you guys get the failed logic there? People are like, oh, I got to blame the teacher. I got to blame the teacher. Blaming the teacher doesn't help you. It's your future. Your grades make your future. That's what it's about. And if we're muted over here on IG, get your butt over to YouTube. The link is in my bio. Go to YouTube. I can't help you, right? What is up, Booth? I'm hopping on here. Does everybody understand what I'm saying right now? And so for all of you guys, we have to recognize, we are all powerful in our own worlds, but we give over power. We're like genies, y'all. We got infinite power, but we allow people to put us in a little tiny freaking whatever it's called. What is it? A lamp? A genie of the lamp, right? A lamp. Set yourself free. Focus on you. And for a lot of us, and right now, right, this is especially that time of year, right, where you're trying to make decisions about should you apply and so forth and what's going on. So we'll hop off of here then. No. Let me sign off of these characters. We're trying to make decisions about our future. And for a lot of you guys, how many of you guys are getting family pressure about your future? Mike, thank you for switching over here. You're the only smart one who flipped over here, right? How many of you guys are getting pressure right now from your family who don't understand what you're trying to accomplish, who aren't sympathetic of your plight, right? And you feel like you have to make decisions because they feel a certain way, because they think a certain way about you, right? And I'm here to tell you that we have to separate that. We have to recognize that our parents, our peoples, our friends can only make us feel a certain way if we allow them to. And Utham's on here, and Utham shouted me earlier today. I'm just coming back right from doing some anesthesia, and we were having this conversation because Utham was explaining that his parents look at him as less than, and when he's applying to Ivy League schools, like, why would you apply to Ivy League schools? You're not that kind of student, right? And they're putting thoughts in his head, and I'm telling him, no, rise above that, apply to those schools, be more than that. And for me, guys, I'll tell you my story. This is like no bull. This is exactly how it relates. When I applied to medical school, I had a goal of getting into an Ivy League school, of getting into a school like Stanford. And when I went to put my application list together, as we all do, right, as confident as you are about the process, you seek help and advice. And so I put my list out, right, to a couple of people in my life, like, hey, what do you think about this list? And, you know, you're in the know, like, what's going on? And like, ooh, Stanford, ooh, Yale, Harvard, like, ooh, those are some really big schools. And, you know, I just don't know, like, I don't know if you want to, you know, apply to those schools and set yourself up for disappointment. Maybe you just want to, you know, apply to this school and these schools and some more safety schools and kind of change your list and all those kind of things. And I almost, because of that, didn't submit my Stanford application. I almost didn't add Stanford on. I'm like, oh, it's a waste. It's Stanford, less than 2% acceptance rate. But then I applied, guys. I submitted it, and I ended up getting into all those schools that I thought that I might not get into based on other people's thoughts. And so I encourage all of you guys to recognize and to take the lid off yourselves and recognize that you have the power to control what you think, and your thoughts become those actions, become those things. And it translates in all facets of the game. And one of the things, like I said I would no longer follow people's perceptions. I'd rise up to be the student I was being. And I thought my problem was I wasn't smart enough as a student. But the reality is I wasn't focused enough. I wasn't disciplined enough. I wasn't consistent enough. And if you are a student and you don't feel like you're the brightest, right, sunshine on the shelf, consistency will win. Consistency will get you where you want to go. And so for my students, right, I'm always stressing consistency, because that's the only thing that we can control for every student. Not every student is going to be the most gifted student. And that's okay. I'm not the most gifted student, but I'm the most consistent student. I'm the most focused student. I'm the most disciplined student, not because I'm naturally disciplined, but because I have systems and infrastructure in place that force me. It's like bowling. You got bumper rails. I have bumper rails in my life that force me to stay on track and hit the pins. And so for you guys, as you move through your life, I want you guys to be thinking about those things and saying, listen, if I'm consistent, I can get there. If I'm consistent, I can get there, right? And Tanya, that's what we're talking about here for focus, right? So you said, how can we become more focused? Well, it starts, guys, with shielding ourselves from all the BS around us, right? Filtering that out, because we get to control what we think about. And for many of you guys, when you sit down to study, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about that material in front of you? Or are you thinking about the fact that, oh man, I gotta have traffic going home, and oh man, that was such a bad encounter earlier, and oh, my food was terrible, and oh, and what about the money? Are you thinking about all these other things outside of that study room? Are you thinking about, oh, what might happen 3 days from now, and not focusing on that study session? Right? So you have to make the decision. and say, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to wall that off. This time, this moment is for this studying. And one way you can do that, I teach my students to have a pre-study routine. And the pre-study routine I teach in my 5 Pillars course is very involved. But one aspect of that is we have to release the brain. And so for a lot of you guys, the reason you think about things other than studying when you're supposed to be studying is because you aren't sure when and how you're going to accomplish those other things. And so they weigh on you and they stress you out. And so the way to create confidence and certainty is to create a route, a plan for success. And so if you are constantly worrying about things outside your studying, what you need to do is make a concrete, feasible schedule. Because then everything will have a place and a time that you're going to think about it and get it done, and you don't have to think about it elsewhere. Additionally, before you sit down to study, it's good to include in your routine a look at that schedule. So you can quantify the fact that, listen, I only got to sit down for an hour. I only got to sit down for 2 hours and study this stuff. So let's just do it. I only got an hour, I only got 2 hours, I'm going to do it. And all the other stuff I'm going to think about, I got time for that later. Additionally, if there isn't a time slot in your schedule for that thing you're worrying about, put it in there. Say, you know what, after this 2 hours, I'm going to take 15 minutes, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to stress, and I'm going to worry about that, but not right now. So we're making a conscious decision about what we're going to think about, what we're going to focus about. Because focus, or the lack of focus, right, is just disattention, right? We have highly focused attention, or we have attention that is sprayed across multiple things. And so for you guys who lack focus, you're allowing other things to, invade your thought process. And you're not thinking about what you should be thinking about, stuff in front of you. You're thinking about other things. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Tanya and Grace, does that answer your question? Right? You have to build these things in. You have to make those decisions because you get to choose what you focus on. But for a lot of us, we don't think about it, right? We passively pick up the phone. Hey, I got a second here. I'm just gonna pick up my phone. And we don't think about the fact that we can put up our guardrails. We don't think about the fact that, oh, you know what? My friends are always bugging me when I'm studying. Well, then why don't you let your friends know you're gonna be studying before you study? Why don't you take back that power of what's in your thoughts and what's in your mind? Because what we think about ourselves, guys, becomes our lives. And what we think we can do, and I'll also bring this to you, Tanya, because as we talk about procrastination, the reason so many of you guys procrastinate is because your thought process is, I don't think I can get this done. If I work really hard and don't get it done, I'm going to be very disappointed. Maybe I shouldn't work at all. I'm going to go to social media. Procrastination. So what we have to do if we want to stop procrastinating, people say, oh, this and that. No. If we want to stop procrastinating, right? Because that's inaction. If we want to take ourselves from being inactive to being active, we have to change our thoughts. What are we thinking about? What are we focused on? And when we change that, then our action will change. Does everybody understand what I'm saying right now? Like the video right now, comment if you understand what I'm saying right now. Do we all understand? We get to make that decision. We get to choose. It's the same thing with emotional burdens. How many of you guys have friends who are very emotional, right? And they want to pull you into their emotion. And you weren't upset, but next thing you know, you're upset because they're upset. Oh, I'm upset too. We're upset, right? We've got to focus in. We've got to decide. We've got to take all of our power, guys, and say, listen, only thing I control in this world is my thoughts, is my beliefs, is how I feel. And the last thing I'll add on this is feelings. Feelings. So many of us allow our feelings to dictate our actions. How you feel has nothing to do with how you act. So I can feel sad. I can feel mad. I can feel worried about Ukraine. But at the same time, I can choose to put my work in despite that. And that's not an unhealthy perspective. That's a healthy perspective. Because what I'm saying is I will not allow emotions to control me. Instead, I will control my emotions. That's power. That's taking that power and saying, oh, I'm not going to be led around by my emotions. I'm going to tell my emotions what to do. I'm going to tell my body what to do. That's taking charge of our lives and not, again, being the bystander and allowing our lives to be out of our control. And that's hard to hear because, well, sometimes the emotion is just so strong. Well, then the issue is, right, and we were talking about this last night in coaching, is that if the emotions are overpowering you, that means you need to do what, guys? Get stronger. So maybe today you can't do that emotion, but should we give up for forever on controlling our emotions? Or should we go see a therapist and get some strategies? Should we do a Google search and get some strategies, right? Should we practice certain types of therapy and mental reprogramming? Should we get at it, right? We have to make strides. We can't just sit in our emotions. We got to make strides to make it better. And that's what I want you guys to recognize, is that part of that process is that we have to think about how we can get better, how we can improve. Saying you did your best and you failed is not sufficient. We get taught that rhetoric. But the reality is, if we did our best and we still failed, then we must make our best better. Otherwise, we will continue to fail. It's not enough to say, I did my best. That's all I can do. No, that's all you can do today. But can you get better tomorrow? Can you get better right now? Can you choose to educate yourself, inform yourself, to strategize, to do something to better yourself for the next time? That's the separator, guys. Because I failed many a times, y'all. I felt inadequate many a times. But I told myself, I can't be inadequate forever. I'm in control of making myself adequate for tomorrow. So I'm going to get to work. I'm going to stay at it. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm gonna study harder. I'm gonna study smarter. I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna go talk to people who are in the know. I'm gonna find a network. I'm gonna have a mentor, right? I'm gonna do all these things that push me forward. You get to decide. You can stagnate. You can allow people's perceptions of you. You can allow your own perceptions of you to say, this is who I am. This is the best I can do. Or you can think differently and grow, right? That growth mindset we talk about, and say, I'm gonna be better. Does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody with me right now? Right now? Okay. You get to decide, guys. That's all I'm trying to push out to you guys, is you guys get to decide what you get to be. You get to control your thoughts, and your thoughts control your actions. So therefore, you get to control who you are, what you do, and what you become. If you need help with getting your thoughts together, with stopping the negative dialogue, with understanding what it is to have a growth mindset, with having a plan for how you become a smarter studier, please get into my course, The Successful Student 21-Day Mindset Makeover, guys. There's a discount link in the description box below. There's also a bunch of resources in there for you guys. Stop it. Make the decision. Choose to get better. Choose to be more. Choose to be enough. It's your choice, right? Choose to feel better. Choose to act better. All these things, guys. So I encourage all of you guys, if you want your mindset stronger, if you want to learn how to study better, if you want to learn how to pre-med better, right? We just said early, Terry Whitman, got her 520 on her MCAT, right? Doing my MCAT course, being in my 5 Pillars program, 520 on the MCAT. Incredible, as a non-traditional pre-med. So make the decision, get in the box below, get some of my resources, and start getting better, guys. So thank you guys for being with me. As always, right, how do we end? I'm Dr. Pinesett, y'all. How do we end? No excuses, just dominate, guys. The website is thestudydoc.com. Make today the first day of the rest of your life. Make that change, resolve to be better, guys, and choose. I'm going to take my power back, y'all. I'm ready to be all powerful and get the job done, guys. I will see you all next time. Okay, we're going to start being very regular on this channel, so I hope you guys will subscribe, turn on notifications, and keep coming back, because I love teaching you guys. I love helping you guys get better. So thank you guys for being here with me tonight. I'm going to get up out of here. Peace, y'all. No excuses. No excuses. No excuses. Just dominate, guys. See you guys next time. What I teach you guys.